welcome to the most interesting show, I think, on the internet today. And it's not interesting because of me, it's interesting because of y'all. I mean, it is stunning the amount of information that we have been able to pull out, to talk about, and to have grow um, our ideas and concepts that we are experiencing here. Just doing a little mic check, test, test, test. Um, and honestly, let me start out by saying that I am a great skeptic to the movement to 5D, fifth dimension, um, and all of that. Why? Because I'm really happy here. I don't want anything to happen, but that's every human. You're at that stage of life and you're just so content, but you get older and eventually you do die. So eventually you do move up to that fifth dimension, fifth density, or fourth density, uh, I would guess. So, I'm approaching this as a great skeptic. I am not one of the cheerleaders. I know there's several in the group that are enthusiastic about this, um, but I'm not. So that I can comment on the things that I'm seeing is coming from a very skeptical point of view, but I can't deny the unusual happenings in and around the world and in science and in our dysfunctionality. So, a couple of show notes, two important things. And Captain Realist, good morning, Captain Realist. Good morning, Dis. Yeah, just Ray. I mean, there's a lot of folks in this group that are very enthusiastic and moving in a positive direction. Then there's me who I'm like, I don't want anything to happen, y'all. I'm very happy. But hey, Graham, good morning. So know that my point of view and that the way I'm approaching this is as a project manager, and I really don't see the final vision, and I'm skeptical about its fundamental occurrence. That being said, I can't deny what is happening, and I have to do my job. So that I do it with a healthy amount of skepticism, I think is a very positive thing. A project manager should be pretty skeptical. He shouldn't just be a cheerleader. He should be making sure that all of his engineers are doing what they're supposed to be doing. The people, if you're working on a construction project or a large networking rollout, you got to make sure that the people that are doing the computer-aided design, the CAD, are doing everything perfectly. So you can't just take their information and like, all right, great, thanks. You have to go through it. You have to ask questions. You have to make them uncomfortable because that fleshes out them being really good at what they're doing. That's what Trump does in his leadership style. He makes everybody uncomfortable. He's not a cheerleader for you when you work for him. If you don't work for him, and if you see him in the streets, he's your cheerleader. But if you work for him, you have responsibilities. He's going to doubt your work. And that makes him a great leader because everybody has to rise to that occasion. But if you just let everybody be lazy on a project, you're going to have a crappy project and you're going to have an unhappy customer. But if you have a healthy skeptic who can question everything that comes through the project and through that process, if he's not a subject matter expert, he comes up to speed with his subject matter experts and holds everybody accountable to a highest level of perfection. You're going to have a great project. You're going to have unhappy employees. You're going to have gripey, complainy, mopey, whiny employees unless they've been with you a long time. You can train them properly. So, yeah, I'm a project manager, and so I have to do some things to make the project happen, and I have to be skeptical, and I have to adjust sometimes. So I'm probably going to be starting at 10:30. What time is it right now in Washington, D.C.? Hey Siri, what time is it in Washington, D.C.? In Washington District of Columbia. All right. So I will be starting my shows probably around 4:30 a.m. daily, 6 days a week, because I'm going to be taking Saturdays off. Saturdays we'll just open up the chat and leave that open throughout the day. But I probably won't. I may appear 1 or 2 times, but I probably won't, because I need to take some time off. I need to recharge the batteries, and that's what the Sabbath is all about. You know, work hard 6 days a week, and then have a good, restful, holy Sabbath. Recharge the batteries. Man, Sunday, you go into it really fresh. Everybody else is taking that day off. So when you hit on Monday, and this is how, since I picked up and understanding what day is actually the Sabbath, I have become much more, I had, when I was working, and still am, I am much more prepared for Mondays than anybody else that I've worked for the past 10 years. Because I look at my Sunday as a Monday. So I'm gearing up, I'm getting ready. I won't go into the office, but I'll have everything that I need to do in the office pretty much done. So by the time I hit Monday, you know, I'm running. Everybody else is just getting in. Oh, yesterday was great. Blah, blah, ginger. Let's talk about the weekend. I'm like, I did that yesterday. I got work to do. And so that's why I was always a very productive engineer. I was not a project manager very often, although I managed everything that I worked on, but I wasn't a quote-unquote project manager. You have to become certified to do that nowadays, which is silly. As long as you have a subject matter expert. Well, anyway, I won't get into all that. So that's how that's what I'm doing here, is project managing. So we're going to be starting at 4:30 a.m. Washington D.C. time, and we'll probably go ahead and start a little earlier at 6:30 p.m. Washington D.C. times in our afternoon shows, which is going to involve Partha and Angel Hope. Angel Hope should be on this evening, and further discussing the Q map, the Great Awakening map. So this is what our focus is. This is what we're talking about all the time now, is the Great Awakening, the Great Solar Flash. Why? Because A, nobody else is talking about it. B, we have a ton of proof that something is going on with the sun. And there are great solar flashes occurring. There is a Great Awakening going on. And the upper right-hand quadrant of this map is where Partha and Angel Hope just have such great expertise. They have no interest that they've expressed in studying the lower part of the map, because all that stuff's already happened. So everything that's south of the Great Awakening is stuff in the past. Everything north of the Great Awakening is what is the future, what's coming. So this map is easy to read. My portion is right to the left, right to the left of the Great Solar Flash. That's my portion. I understand it. I am the subject matter expert there now. And then everything to the right of the Great Solar Flash, and including the Great Solar Flash, and my portion, Partha and Angel Hope, are absolute, utter subject matter experts, unquestionably, and have been rendering great synchronicities, great predictions, great understanding, providing great clarity to all of us, and bringing the law of one, which has blown me away. I really didn't know anything about that, and we really should have. And then doing a deep dive into the authors and what they did, how they did it, and the vast volume of information that they provided was just breathtaking. And so this is incredible. And what we see in this project that was done in the early 80s, 80 through 84, which was when I was in high school, so I understand very well the worldview back then, which is nowhere near the worldview today. And the vast amount of science that we've made leaps and bounds from the 80s in just basic understanding, Egypt, the Great Flood, blah 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 blah. That stuff just wasn't readily available to those three people that really pulled off that project. And one of them still remains alive today and speaks. He's the scribe, actually, of the project. He was the writer of the project, and he is no Shakespeare. He's not someone that is a great and voluminous writer and has a very unique form of speech as Ra did present himself. It's very tough for an author to write like Ra and do it consistently for so much and it not affect you in the way you function and talk and represent it. So every author puts a little bit of himself in the character. An author really can't envelop himself in the full character, because once you meet the author, you see, oh, okay, I know where this came from. Gotcha. So it's someone from the Northeast really can't represent somebody from the South, and someone from the South just looks at someone from the Northeast and just really can't write a Northeast character. It's really tough. So there you go. Again, 4:30 and 6:30 are going to be our starting times. We have a lot of information to go through. You know, there is a great awakening going on. I often talk about. Let's see, where do I have you? I often talk about this young fella, Tim Pool, who I find to be very intelligent and so milquetoasty, but he's the only guy that really brings the commentary that he does to the YouTube news consuming audience. And Tim is a beanie wearing millennial who thinks just like a millennial does, and who has great ideals but just lacks depth of knowledge to really process a lot of what he sees and analyzes it. He does it in a very nice and naive way, which frustrates the tar out of me because of the depth and level of my experience. But the wonderful thing about watching Tim is his red pilling. He's been on red pill for a year now. He's been on red pill process for a year and a half. A year and a half ago, he really started to question the left. A year and a half ago, he really started questioning the Democratic Party and how it was presenting and what it was doing. In the last 6 months, you know, for the last 2.5 years, he's like, I'd never vote for Trump. My God, no. But he isn't always wrong, you know. That he isn't the person that they've made him out to be. I've seen him in the White House, and Tim was invited to a function there where the president spoke, and so he got a chance to see the president unfiltered in person, and he's like, the guy's funny. He's self-effacing, you know. He's not the guy. He's not the Orange Man bad, and that's all the media does is present Orange Man bad, day after day, minute after minute, hour after hour. Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad, Orange Man bad. And hence we have riots. And the media is wholly responsible for this. But Tim Pool doesn't get paid by the media. He gets paid by his viewership. So he just has to present his news as honest and as milquetoasty as possible because this is his profession. He can't really make mistakes. And if he does, because he trades in honesty. You know, a lot of times he gets on my nerves, but I know he's honest in what he's saying and doing, and that is everything. In a reporter, reporters have become dishonest. They have become activists. So, you know, Tim has taken the red pill, and he's talking like a red pillar. And maybe by November he'll be wearing a MAGA hat instead of a black beanie, black and gray beanie. That's pretty funny. But here he's talking about Twitter admits bias, refuses to fact check Democrats who lied. So something I've been saying for a long time is is with leftist and liberal policies that we struggle with right now. They've become a cancer that has been allowed to grow. What kind of cancer, Breadcrumb? The Breadcrumb Project trades in honesty too. You guys wouldn't be here if you didn't see I was moving in an honest and forthright direction, and honestly going in areas that are new to me and sometimes I struggle with. But everybody here that has been with me for the past month and a half sees that I go about things honestly. If I make a mistake, I admit to it. If the MSM, if the mainstream media, if ABC, NBC, all of those assholes make a mistake, they never admit to it. They continue the lie. And so what's happened, the cancer that I talk about, is the cancer of misinformation. As an IT specialist, and anybody who does IT, hey, John Q, welcome back. Hey, Nemesis, hey, gang. The usual suspects are here. Lagging? Lagging. All right, everything's lagging. Drops detected. All right. Drop you out. All right, let's see if that helps pick up things. And transition over. All right, hopefully that helped. Good morning, everyone. All right, yep, we are back up in normal. I do need to do system. All right, so anyway, so Tim's red pilling. He's going through a great awakening. Everybody is. I mean, especially with these riots. Either you live the lie, or you're awake to what is happening to your country and your society. And unfortunately, America, you are in a civil war. A cancer has entered into the system and is allowed to metastasize, and that is disinformation. That is lie. There's nowhere in the First Amendment freedom of speech ideal where misinformation and lies are sustained and supported. Those to remain healthy in a society, in a family, in any kind of unit, you cannot allow misinformation to enter the system. And it's so much so that it used to be the press, had a responsibility and a duty as the fourth estate. Editors took their job very seriously. If they were going to print something, then they had to make sure it was well sourced, and the credibility of the entire institution was based on every single story, like Tim and I function. But 10, 15 years ago, the change happened where you sensationalize the news, and then you get a viewership that's addicted to your sensationalization, and then they get so wrapped up their lives around the crap you are feeding them that they are no longer able to process the real world and the truth. And so as long as CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, and MSNBC give this cancer energy and life and food, just it's going to get worse. Because the riots aren't changing anybody that supports Trump. Moreover, a lot of people that wouldn't have voted for Trump are now going to, because you have the law and order versus anarchy. You want anarchy? You vote for the guy that has dementia. If you want law and order, you vote for the successful businessman. Yeah, it is laggy. What's going on, man? Hold on a second. Let me just pull something up here. Take a look at my system. Resources. I'll probably take a break and do a reboot. Oh, wow. Let's see. Yeah, I have a Core i5 processor, and it's struggling. I need to get a quad core. All right. And I haven't had a chance to look at all these resources. Oh, wow, it's dropping. Okay. I am taking a 5-minute break and rebooting, and then coming back to the discussion of the Great Awakening. ... It's happening on so many levels. Still seem to be dropping some frames. That is just nuts. It may not be my system. It may be my internet connection that's dropping the frames. All right. Sorry, guys. Figure out. So, sorry about all the technical issues that we're having. My internet service seems to be good. Am I still freezing up? Guys, do you still see me lagging? Yeah, I'm still laggy. That's my internet service. Hang on. Do 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 do. All right. Doing some. Let's see. Let's see if that helps. All right, double checking. All right, guys, can you see me now? Arg. You are just being a horrible machine. Horrible. All right, let's bring this up. Why aren't you picking up? Sorry guys, this is just insane. Alright, I guess we're not going to have any video going on today. Let me get back to you guys. Alright, yeah, I'll be looking at a system upgrade this afternoon. I haven't had time to do it yet, so I apologize. I don't think it's my system. I think it's the internet that is being cantankerous here. So so I don't know. Just basically, a Great Awakening is happening on so many different levels, but everybody is still very, very, very asleep, and it is incredible how asleep so many folks are. So yeah, we have to figure this out. Let me see if I can get this system working again. Man, this doesn't make any sense. All right. I don't know what is happening. Sorry about this, guys. I don't know if it's the software. I know it's not the hardware, because everything is good at the hardware level. I'm just very frustrated. So it tells me I'm dropping packets. I'm sorry it's laggy. But young people are waking up. There is a great awakening going on, but there's still a lot of people asleep. There is great transition happening in space and around our world that many people can't see, but we see clearly. So there is so much going on that is necessary for us to understand, to see. Please go to Wage's World today. Do some investigation of the work that he is doing, the UFOs that he is seeing next to the sun. Please go to Angel Hope's page and Partha's page. Just do some more research on astronomy and the Law of One. And with those three resources, you have a lot of clarity. Something else that I really wanted to talk about today was the lightning storms that that were experienced in.
You were told that things would get worse as we got closer to.
Thanks, Tim. But the severe lightning storm that we saw, that they saw in Washington, D.C. last night, which is like nothing they've ever seen. But we've been seeing it happen all over the place. It's been shocking to many, but it's not shocking to us. And let me pull that up real quick before I drop off the stream here. Let's see, where are you? So yeah, last night a wild lightning storm hit Washington, D.C. and you know, there's no question as to something happening. And let me bring up my deck. Let's see. And hopefully that brings it up properly so that you guys can see what is going on and what DC experienced last night. right. Let's see if this works. Wow. I can't even show you that. I think it's my software. I did an update yesterday, and I mean, just nothing is working in my Streamlabs OBS application. This is bizarre. All right, guys. So yes, yesterday, Washington D.C. You can go to Drudge Report, which is now absolute trash. I rarely go there, but I have to stop in daily. I have to stop in at least once a day to look what's happening there. But they have at the top of the headline, D.C. experienced an incredibly bizarre storm last night. And now I understand why the president wanted to make sure that everything had EMP protection, because the lightning that was discharging yesterday was definitely causing some disturbances. And so anything that had EMP protection was okay last night. Yeah, we need to talk to Partha, JLT. Thanks for keeping up with his channel. Hi, Andrew. Hi, K8. I think I did get your video, K8. I haven't had a chance to look. And now I'm going to be fighting with my laptop and try to understand why my Streamlabs OBS has taken a great dive. So I'll be a little busy today. Bad storm getting started here today in Ireland, Northern Ireland. It's just yeah, Andrew. The awakening is a slow and steady process. You know, here we have everybody that comes in has an awakening process. So I think, you know, everybody's vibrations are slowly rising, and yeah, we have a great awakening going on. It's slow but steady and painful. K8K sent me a video, and I got a couple of emails from K8. Hey, Michelle, and hope you're doing great today. I hope you had a good night's sleep. So I need to go into my emails and check that. I've been getting a ton of email too, which I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for all the data that we're getting, all the supporting data that we are getting. Gosh, I'm dropping so many frames. Yeah, I don't think it's my hardware, because yesterday I was running wide open and not having any frames dropping. And today it's dropping frames like crazy. I got to work on that, guys. I apologize for not having a good show for you. They said it will be bad. How do they know it's going to be bad? Unless they see it coming. I mean, it must be a storm that's advancing over the ocean. Yeah, storms today are crazy, guys. Super intense. And you also have those huge storms that are usually off the coast and have just giant amount of explosion, lightning in the sky, but you don't hear anything. And then you have those 5-second crashes around the world, especially India. Oh, Joshua, I hate updates. And they don't allow you to, in Streamlabs OBS, they force you to take the updates. As an engineer, I hate updating my software. If everything's working good, I don't need an update. Everything's working great. Every time you send me an update, it goes to crap, especially with open source software. Open source software is notorious for this. And it's great. It's great operating. It's a great streaming software. I'm delighted with it. But man, it's crashing too much. All right. What Wow, Nemesis. Stay safe, you and your pup. Your well-groomed pup. I keep seeing Buckingham Palace boarded up. What's up with that? Hey, Gavin, can you put a link to the site that you just mentioned? Drudge Report. Here, I'll type it in. This is the Drudge Report, and it's the top story. No way to miss it. Yeah, I understand the Queen is the real Queen, but I'd like to see some pictures of Buckingham Palace boarded up. I've heard a lot of words about it. I'm skeptical, so I'd love to see some pictures, of today, from today, that shows the palace boarded up. Can we get some photographic proof of all of this? Words are great, but NASA provides words too. Then we have the photographic proof that comets are not made of ice. Comets are made of dust and rock. But you go to NASA and you see a bunch of words telling you how wonderful comets are and how locked within their ice core is the 4.5 billion year history of the solar system, which is a pile of crap. It's dust and rock held together by a weak gravitational force. Yeah, Nemesis, there are a good bit of earthquakes, and they've had some 5-pointers in California. Usually in California, they're 2 or 3-pointers. I slept well. I was awakened by several when I was living in Oakland, but they were 2 or 3-pointers. They were really nothing of significance. A 5.5 earthquake is something significant in California. Disarray, please, can you send us some photographic proof of all of this? Those words are great, brother. I appreciate it. But I could be saying the same thing about the White House. The White House is boarded up. They have taken down the Great Seal of the president. President Trump is not the authentic president. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. So the seal of President of the United States has been transferred to Hillary Clinton. Chappaqua now is the official White House. No, I don't have any photographic proof. I don't have any video proof. I'm just telling you this, which is a bunch of nonsense. I need to see a lot more. For something that this heavy, a video is not going to do it. I would really love if one of our viewers was in London and would step out and go over there and take some pictures. That would be brilliant. Or Epic, if you've got some mates that live in London that could go around and take a couple pictures of this and provide it for us, that would be breaking news. Yes, I'll take a look at the video, but I want something current. I want something current and today by an independent person that we know and trust. Who is resigning if he gets banned from Twitter? Trump? Disarray, are you saying Trump will resign the presidency if he gets banned from Twitter? Is that what you're saying? Nemesis, thank you so much. That is what we need. Yeah, Disarray, you're gone on that. That is so far from reality. I've worked in the federal government for 12 years. I've been a soldier. I worked in Congress for a year. I understand President Trump. The coup has already happened, disarray. That's what the deep state was all about. That's what the whole Mueller investigation, the whole FBI scandal, the coup attempt has already happened. And, all of this Black Lives Matter and Antifa, this is their big effort. This is their one big push. And it's not doing anything. They're burning their own neighborhoods. They're not going to middle America. The soldier, the average soldier, stands by their president. Yes, there's some people in the Pentagon that have been career diplomats and career people that are trash, and most of your generals, for the most part, are kiss asses that have advanced through political means and not through battlefield experience. No, man, and I'm not being mean to you, but that is not a reality that is present. I'm too well connected in that area. I've 54 years experience in federal government. I can tell you, Twitter could shit all over Donald Trump tomorrow, and Donald Trump is going to shit all over Twitter. Frankly, before Donald Trump, Twitter was having big problems. Before, in 2015, 2014, 2015, Jack Dorsey was trying to keep the lights on at Twitter. If you remember, the stock was tanking, man. There was no reason for Twitter. It was just becoming Instagram and all the other things. Were just leaving Twitter behind. Facebook was leaving Twitter behind. So Twitter was dying, and then came 2015 and Donald Trump and the election, and that saved Twitter. Donald Trump doesn't give a shit about Jack Dorsey. Donald Trump could do what he does and quit Twitter, and then Twitter takes an absolute nosedive. If Trump moved his media platform somewhere else and said, this is my only place I'm going to be doing it from, he will make that company rich and bankrupt Twitter. You can't tell someone who's wrapped up in Black Lives Matter to look at the whole picture. There is no whole picture. They see everything through a wonderful ideology. I follow Donald Trump. I have not seen a tweet saying Tom Hanks is dead. And if Donald Trump had tweeted that, the mainstream media would go nuts because they react to everything Donald Trump tweets. They can't help it. Yeah, Captain Realist. 90% of the people that follow Trump are new to Twitter. Doesn't surprise me, Andrew. They're all the same mold. The Satanists, the Black Lives Matter people, Antifa, they're all the same. They're the same people all over the place. Good, Michelle. Don't go on Twitter. Don't get Twitter. It literally affects you emotionally and psychologically. You can't believe people are that horrible. It is truly a dumpster fire. Oh, JLT, you and your bride must be livid. 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 There are so many black YouTubers now with channels and commenting. And the number one thing they say is, don't feel sorry for us. You make us seem like idiots when you attempt to feel sorry for a black person, that you need to help them, that they need your help. That is insulting to a successful black person. Absolute trash. The one thing that everybody that has died in police custody has in common is that they A, broke the law, and B, resisted arrest. Tell me I'm wrong. Oh yeah, Joshua, there's, a good debater loves to be on Twitter, but it's just when you read the comments, depresses me. It is. It's not a good place. And you really don't want to build up the thick skin that it takes to survive and thrive on Twitter. I mean, I pop in. Like I said, I pop in. I look at the people I like. Most important is Donald Trump. His tweets are gold, 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 and he's always telegraphing. But again, last night, Washington, D.C. was hit with a huge electrical storm. I think the government is planning for more of those to happen over time, and that's why the electrical grid and the federal government has braced itself for EMP activity by lightning and sun activity. So they know what's going on. Well, I'll tell you what, in America, there are no poor children dying of hunger. The poor children in America have cell phones. And what about all the wonderful black people that have died at the hands of the protesters? No one cares about them. All the law-abiding, hard-working people that are trying to defend themselves against this mob mentality that are black. Black people don't care about them. They only care about the lawbreakers. Don't you see? This is all giving life to cancer. This is all giving energy to lawbreakers and punishing the law abiders. That's been the consistent theme of the left and the Democratic Party. Oh yeah. So yeah, if you remember Live Aid, I participated heavily in Live Aid. Let's feed the children. Feed the world. Dun, 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 dun. Feed the world. Dun, dun, dun. We raised millions of dollars. We brought thousands upon thousands of tons of food to Africa to feed them. Do you know what happened? Of course, the follow-up, and that's what the left never does. They never do the follow-up as to what really effing happens with all their policies and all the crap that they put on society. There's no follow-up. That's where the misinformation comes in. So we bring all this Live Aid food to Africa. You know who gets a hold of the Live Aid food? The warlords. You know what they do with it? They either let it rot or they sell it. They made a killing in Africa with all that Live Aid food, and so much of it just went to rotten warehouses because the warlords would not let it in. No, the money did not go to the charity. No, the money went to go buy food. The food rotted in warehouses and in ships and in open ground, because the warlords of Africa would not allow the people to be fed. Because if that happened, they would lose control. That's what's happened in the last 20 years, man. You've become ignorant of facts because the cabal that controls the media has allowed for disinformation to enter the system and the cancer to rot the brains of the world. Andrew, they slaughter each other in Africa, and the UN just lets it happen. Every time the UN tried to get involved, the quote-unquote peacekeepers would go and rape the women. I mean, the only thing that lifts people out of poverty is a job and self-esteem. So if you want to lift Africa out of poverty, you have to bring in capitalism. You cannot bring in charity. Charity just causes more dysfunctionality. Capitalism, as China has embraced, will lift a nation out of poverty. K8, listen, man, I work with a lot of Chinese people and families currently. And mainland China does not want a free state. They want one government that they can yell at and hold accountable and keeps them safe and helps them make sense of the world. The Chinese are a monoculture, you know. We try to put Western idealisms into the Chinese culture, and it doesn't work, man. Chinese do not want democracy. The young, idealistic Chinese do, but the old, once you get a job and you're working in China and you have to function with other Chinese people, you want a strong state that is going to teach your children, protect you, and make sense of the outside world. China does not want to be free, my man. Hong Kong enjoys it. Hong Kong's special. But in Beijing, you'll have those uproars. But in the rest of China, they don't want democracy. They don't want two parties fighting each other. You'll never have a free state in China. They don't want it. I've made you guys suffer long enough. But yeah. And please understand, the people of China do not trust or believe their government. They have an incredible, healthy skepticism of the government. And they don't want to have skepticism of two parties. They just want to have the skepticism of one party. And they have ways to hold their parties accountable. Oh, I keep forgetting that you're in South Africa. Thank you for confirming everything I'm saying, Michelle. Great awakening. Another great awakening of what's actually happening in Africa. Thank you, Michelle. Yes. Yeah, I mean, Africa is a completely corrupt country from head to toe. You can't function in African politics unless you're corrupt. And it's beautiful. South Africa, Africa is a beautiful country. And if you come in as a tourist, you're going to love it. You're going to fall in love with it. If you live there, you're going to be scared to death. Yeah, y'all are being slaughtered, man. White people are being slaughtered in Africa. Their property is being confiscated. They are being white people are being thrown into poverty. And you guys just don't know about it. When it gets dark, it sucks to be a white person in Africa. There's several people that are here in Spain that have had a chance to escape. And literally they say escape. Yeah, everybody steals money in Africa. You do not want to be a white person in Africa now. No, you don't. The laws are written against you. And we're okay with it. The mainstream media is good. They know about it, Michelle. Oh, they know about this, and they feel good about it because you deserve it. All of us deserve it. It's our fault. All the problems in the United States government and all the crap that goes on in D.C., it's all Trump's fault. He's only been president 36 months. And you've had all those guys in Congress and in the Senate there for 30 and 40 years, and all the bureaucrats and leftists that are there. But you see, it's all Donald Trump's fault that this is happening. When was Black Lives Matter created? It was created under the Obama administration. Did you know that? Black Lives Matter group was created under Obama. Sally Pular, if you say that in America and you have a high-profile job, if you say all lives matter, you will get fired. You will get fired for saying all lives matter in America now. That's right. Antifa, Black Lives Matter, all of these leftist organizations are 100% Soros funded. And JLT, that's what we do on this channel, is we delve deep into the real facts and the roots of history and tell the truth here. That's part of the Great Awakening. That is part of the Great Awakening. It's not, I don't think, going to be a moment. It's just everybody's slowly going to wake up to what the hell's going on. And then as aliens start to present themselves, we're going to understand that we haven't been alone and that we've actually been protected and coddled as a species while we kill each other. No, Disarray. It's not like that, man. Most of America is rural and small cities. We don't have a police presence there. You see? This is why you're getting all this misinformation and you're living a lie, Disarray. The only place we're going to have strong police presence is in cities run by Democrat Party officials that are in states run by Democrat Party officials. They want this to happen, Disarray. In states that have Republican Party governors and city officials, we don't have Antifa. We don't have these riots. Do you get that? So this is only happening in 10% of America. This is not happening in 90% of America. You don't have a Department of Homeland Security, police force, army big enough to try to jail and go to war with regular Americans. Regular Americans are better armed than the police and military, Disarray. Do you understand that? And when you're in the military, you're going to follow lawful orders. You don't just do what they tell you to do in the military, in the U.S. military. I was in it in the 80s, and it's a different military than it is now. If you get an order that you don't think is lawful, you don't follow it. And then there's a military review. Was that order that you disobeyed a lawful order? If you were told to kill a citizen just for the hell of it, captain says, shoot these people. You say, no, sir. No, I told you to shoot them, private. That's great, sir. They're law-abiding citizens, and I have no reason to even be here. I'm going back to the base. You know? So it's not like that. It's not like the TV, guys. This is happening in big cities that are leftist liberal led and states that are leftist liberal led. Yeah. The white people are disarmed, and it's hell for you there. In America, we're heavily armed, and we're not scared of the government. Yeah, Michelle, I'd get the hell out of there. If there's somewhere you can emigrate to, girl. Yeah, it's gotten really rough for people with money in Mexico. Well, in Central America, it's always been tough. They've always had kidnappings going on. I've got to go to work. No, Nemesis, that is not a true statement. That we are not wings of the same bird. I am sorry. I have too much experience in government, and I can tell you clearly, and I will argue for hours. Just because you have one bad kid does not mean both kids are bad. Just because you have one super corrupt party does not mean both parties are corrupt. It is one party that's been trying to hold the line, and it's one party that has allowed themselves to become leftist, militant, evil, corrupt human beings that are destroying and killing other human beings. Okay? In good Republican states, with good Republican leadership, these are mostly people that are business people and not lifetime politicians at the state level. And in D.C., we send career people, but we hold them accountable at the states. No, Nemesis, that is an incorrect statement. I know that's what you fundamentally believe, but I can't live that lie. Yeah, I've lived in Guatemala for 3 years as a child. We had armed guards often when things got uproarious because we were with the American Embassy. We were object of kidnapping attempts. When I lived in Istanbul, Turkey, it was far worse in the 70s because they were going through a civil war. So we went from Istanbul, Turkey, where anytime we went to school, we had armed guards. We had armed guards in the front of the van that would take us to school, and armed guards in the back. There was 3 vehicles, and the children were in the middle. That's how I went to school for 2 years, guys. Okay, and then I got to Guatemala, and I didn't have to. I could get on a regular bus, and every once in a while we'd have to take extra security measures. But I was like, wow, this is cool. I actually get to go on a school bus, a yellow school bus. I went to school, and it was somewhat normal. But yeah, in Guatemala, we always were a kidnap threat. Nemesis, I have worked in the top level. I worked in Congress. I went to the RNC headquarters often. I know a lot of people that worked in the RNC headquarters, in the upper echelon. No, Nemesis. No, you got to wake up. You have to have a great awakening too. It's okay. It's okay. Understand, the people that you're talking about at the top levels, they hate Trump more than the Democrats hate Trump because he's wrecking their party that they had going on with all the consultants and stuff. They had cushy lives, the Republicans. They were trying to do the good thing and hold the line. That's what I did. I worked in Congress. I worked in the upper echelons. I have friends in the upper echelons. In the upper echelons, like the money people, the fundraisers. Yeah. They couldn't hide from me. Come on. Yeah, y'all have been so brainwashed by the mainstream media that you just can't even see the truth through the lies. No, it's been a war in D.C. I was there. I couldn't wait to get out of it. And I told the ones that stayed there, I'm like, man, y'all are brave and tough, you know. But often they didn't see it either. They were kind of naive to the real undercurrent of what was happening, because they went to all the same cocktail parties, and quite often the Republicans that were in the upper echelons were talking bad about their own people that voted for them, because their friends in the cocktail parties. And can you believe those rednecks? And they listen to that country music. Do you like country music? I hate country music. No, it happened through, yeah. So anyways, I got to get off the air. I got to go to work, guys. Sorry for this crappiness of, yeah, frames are still being dropped. So I gotta sort this out with the system. All right, guys, love y'all very much. Love and light, and keep awakening to the realities that we have out there. Oh, so sorry. Yeah, this was a podcast today. There we go. Do good deeds, think good thoughts, and say good things. Peace, love, and light. Let's see how we're doing now, guys. I think it was a bandwidth issue. Let's go live. There we go. No packets being dropped. All right, I am back ever so briefly. Had an appointment cancel. Thankfully, so grateful for my 12 o'clock appointment canceling. So yeah, after I got off of the live stream, you're not going to keep a Basque man down. I think thank the creator and thank all of those that are supporting this project spiritually and physically, that they helped me out, because I was going to cancel my 12 o'clock appointment actually, and it's something I should not have done. But I was hot, man. I was firecracker hot, getting off the live stream 30 minutes ago. What the hell? And just went to the Library of Alexandria, the Modern Library of Alexandria, the internet, did a little bit of research, and boom, yep, it was bandwidth issues. I'm gonna have to contact my I'm on fiber. I'm on fiber optics. I should not be getting any errors. So I'll be contacting my internet service provider here at the house. But right now, I can show you what I'm doing for all those that are still here and watching. Hey, Captain Realist. Hi, Dawn. So yeah, this will interest you, Dawn. The last when I came on at 10:30, it was miserable. I was dropping frames all over the place, lagging. It was just horrible. And so I had to get off the stream and figure out what's going on. And it is bandwidth issue. It is a bandwidth issue. So it's not a hardware issue. My hardware is doing just fine. So my CPU, yeah, it's maxed out. It's processing as much as it can, but I have enough memory overhead that it can do some of the processing that the CPU can't. So the CPU isn't really failing me. All it's maxed out, and then it finds a little breathing room after things settle down a little bit. So it wasn't my CPU. My memory, after things settle down, I don't make any big changes. It does just fine. And then what happened is my Ethernet connection wasn't doing its job. So I had to get software called Speedify. And Speedify is a bonding VPN. And not only is it a VPN, but it bonds two channels, which is a very awesome thing to do. So now I'm working off of my hotspot on my iPhone and my iPad, my Ethernet, my local fiber optics, and they are streaming this together. And so whatever packet arrives to the router first, because they're able to ultimately gauge that at their endpoint, because both of these channels are going through their VPN, and their servers on their end are determining what frames are moving in what location. That's part of TCP/IP. TCP/IP is an acknowledgement software. Okay, this is packet 1, this is packet 2, this is packet 3. It just doesn't send it all out. It's like a train. And so if I'm dropping packets on one service, the other service picks it up. On my fiber, I was dropping packets, so you weren't able to see it. And dropping packets means that, IP packet number 17, 18, 19, 20 just didn't make it, and you're not going to see that material. So that's where you see a lag, and then the router and the servers would have to try to pick up what they can and rebuild the stream. This way I have the stream going off of two different sources, meeting at the one server and then being sent to YouTube. And it is streaming beautifully. Yay! Breadcrumb is happy. Yeah, I was dropping more packets than Pablo, baby. I was LA. I was Los Angeles on a Friday night. Hey, Kip. Yay. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry, and I don't know it's happening often. So, yeah, problem solved. Problem solved. So, good morning, guys. Sorry about that. Love and learn. The good news is I'm a network engineer. So, it didn't take a long leap for me to solve this issue. Um, and go, oh, yeah. And again, it's my education system. It's my fundamental education that I've started at the bottom and worked my way to the top, which I've also done in the political area. So when I'm talking about Trump, I'm not talking about someone that just reads the news and is like, oh, I'm making my decisions off there. No, I have 54 years of experience in federal government. Solid 54 years from the absolute baby bottom as being born into the system to working in Washington, D.C., fundraising, working with the power people that be, working with the RNC, the actual RNC. So I'm not like some stooge. I mean, guys, I can't reinforce that enough. I've got experience in the system. Thanks, Kip. I've got oodles. I've seen corrupt things happen. I've seen people go corrupt. I've participated in some things that, frankly, I'm not very proud of, but also it's part of the political process. It's ugly, man. You don't want to have somebody pure as driven snow in the political process, because you've got to be as cunning and conniving as your worst opponent in the political battlefield. And where we lost our country is people trying to stay above the fray. When you let a cancer in your system and you stay above it, the cancer metastasizes. You can't ignore a cancer in your body, much less your home, much less your city, much less your county or parish, depending on what you're in, your state, and your federal government. And people that allow themselves to go ignorant and not care about politics or what have you, become frustrated with it, well, it's your fault. And that bullshit, and I'm sorry to use the word, that they're both the same, that they're both wings of the same bird. Yeah, you have one very healthy wing and one sucky, depleted wing. A cancerous Democratic Party that is just shriveled up and nasty, and then you have a big old healthy Republican wing. Yeah, the country can't fly. The good people have to go to a party. All right, everything's going good in my stream. Very happy. No buffering for my friends and folks. So what, do you think the good people of America are the ignorant people that aren't voting? Is that what you think? And do you think the billionaires, the amount of money and power, international power in America, are a bunch of ignorant stooges? The good people go to the Republican Party. If you look at the Republican Party, the congressional members, the senators, they are distinguished, wonderful people. Unfortunately, many of them have had to jump into the fray that they were above and aloof to before, but now they're getting busy. Lindsey Graham's a new Lindsey Graham, man. So yeah, if you want to say they're both wings of the same bird, then I'll tell you right now, you got one healthy wing and one cancerous one, but they're not identical. It's people that read the newspaper and get their news from the news media and what they can find on the internet, and they're just not getting anything near the truth. I have lived it and experienced it. That's why I keep asking for pictures from someone in London today to take pictures of Buckingham Palace so that we can clear this misinformation in the stream. I am very doubtful. If there's a video of boarded up windows, there's one video. That's not enough for me. I need several sources, and I need to know these sources are valid, good, and healthy before I'll say, wow, Buckingham Palace has been boarded up, and look, the guards are different, and the sign of state is down. I can't take that off of text and a video. All that can be manipulated. The Breadcrumb Project fundamentally works off of sound, solid proof and science. And we avoid verbiage at all cost. Yeah, Kip, I kind of felt that way too, but well, if the new Lindsey Graham sticks around, I could support that, but not really. I want a businessman as president. I'm tired of politicians. I don't want another lawyer, and I don't want another politician as president. I want a sound, functional businessman. I want politicians out of D.C. I don't want another politician, to work his way through the system. I want career politicians out. I want career bureaucrats out. If you work for the federal government, you only work for 5 or 10 years. You don't get a retirement from the federal government. The only people in the federal government that should get a retirement are State Department people and the military. Everybody else should just be there briefly. You should work for the state as a statesman and not look to profit or retire off of it. Hey, good morning, Troy. No packets dropped. No errors. Fantastic. I'm so happy. All right, I'm on for roughly 5 more minutes, and then I got a 1 o'clock appointment. That's a hard appointment that I got to get to. Thanks, Kip. And Troy, what I'm talking about right now is the Great Awakening. It's not only going to be a very big spaceshipy thing, and it's not, it's going to be a great flash, but there's going to be a steady Great Awakening of humanity to the reality of the damage we've done by ignoring what we've ignored. I think that's what we're seeing in America right now. I think that's why we're seeing the Civil War. I was talking about Tim Pool, who is a young millennial reporter who is an entrepreneur, and so he doesn't work for an ABC and NBC, CBS. He works off of his tool and trade, which is his honesty and his effort to be a milquetoast middle fence sitter. And the Democratic Party has made it impossible for him to sit in the middle anymore. I mean, he works hard to get that middle ground, but he's left for the last 2 years defending Trump. He doesn't want to defend Trump. He doesn't like Trump. But the whole orange man bad thing has just gone too far, even in his young eyes. I remember a year ago him yelling, "I don't want to defend Trump. Please, MSNBC, please, CNN, report the truth. Do not make me defend the orange man, because that's what you're making me do as somebody that has to trade in truth." So watching Tim Pool take the red pill has been fantastic. Fantastic. Poor guy. He's having a hard time with it, but there, by the grace of God goes he. So now, you have to literally work very hard. And, one of the biggest problems has been with this whole reporting of the riots in America, it feeds people that don't understand America. Because people look at America like a big old country like Spain, or a big old country like Italy, or a big old country like Great Britain. Good God, no. America is huge. Ginormous. You can pop all of Europe right there, and you still have plenty of space. America is huge. It's so diverse. And so, Trump's going to have the Army and the Department of Homeland Security take over America, and here come the concentration camps, and they're going to make them active. Good fucking luck, because America is far more well-armed as U.S. citizens than the military. And the military fights for flag, family, and God. They don't fight for Donald Trump. They don't fight for their general. They don't fight for their sergeant. A soldier fights for 3 things. And then when the shit gets serious, there's a quick alignment. When you're in war, you fight for that guy that's next to you in battle. You no longer have a sense of self. you're fighting for your platoon or whatever your unit of encounter is. All right. Then you fight for family. Then you're fighting for flag and God. And then those three change depending on where you are. You know, mine would be God first, then flag. But Americans are loyal to the flag, guys. That's why we're nuts about the American flag and the eagle. We don't have pictures of Donald Trump or our president like what they used to have for FDR. And then you have all the people that love America, that supported Trump, bringing in a businessman to just clean house. He ran for president once and won once on a very well strategized vote, an election. And he did it as America was designed, that you use the electoral college. That's how you win a presidency. You do not win it with the popular vote, which was Hillary was going for, because she's going for the money, money, money. But these guys also, they don't live in the real world. They live in their multimedia, effeminate elite world. Whereas I live, close to the ground. I make sure I don't get rich. I make sure I stay, where I have to work hard for my money. As long as you're working hard for your money, you stay in reality. And then when you have a cancer like the left come into your community, well, you learn how to fight that. So America does not have riots in our Republican states, in our Republican-ran communities. Okay? This is not a countrywide issue, guys. The riots are not countrywide in America. It's only the cities that are ran by leftist Democrat Party officials in states that have leftist ideologue Democratic officials that have no clue on how to run a state. They know how to play politics. They know how to destroy lives. They know how to milk the taxpayer and be corrupt. But the Republican-run states, this isn't happening in Texas. This isn't happening in Florida. It sure as hell ain't happening in Alabama. It may happen in New Orleans, in Louisiana, but I haven't heard anything. You feel me? It's not happening in the South, except for Atlanta. And then, the funny thing is, the friends that we have, they're Big O, they live in a town north of a very popular mid-sized city, north of Atlanta. And yeah, man, on that second day, Antifa was making the march to the suburbs. This was it. This was their big move. And these kids don't realize that the suburbs of outside of Atlanta, these people are armed to the teeth. The wife of the husband that was that was ready and he didn't have to shoot weapons, but he was getting all of his weaponry ready. And his wife was stunned at the amount of weapons and ammunition they had in the house and in the barn. She's like, oh my God. Was she complaining? Was she saying, no, honey, put that all away. We don't want. No, she's like, yeah, all right. What do I have to do? So Americans are ready to fight for their country. They fight for flag, they fight for God, they fight for their family, and they fight for honor. Antifa has no clue as to what they're getting into. They've started a civil war. The mainstream media started a civil war, and Americans are fine. Let's do this, guys. We are not scared of our government. We're not scared of our police. We're not scared of the Department of Homeland Security. Fuck's sake, man. They're kids. What you're going to do as a military leader, as a military official, is you're going to de-escalate the situation. So if some of them kneel for the moment, that's cool. Let's monitor the situation. You do what you do to de-escalate. But if you need, if the stick comes, we do carrots at first in the military, in law enforcement. It's carrots at first, lots of carrots. Let's do a little bit of kneel. But when the stick comes out, everybody knows, all right, F that kneeling. We're fighting. I've tried to be nice to you. I've tried to meet you in that middle ground. You see, that's what conservatives do. That's what Republicans do. We try to meet these evil people in the middle ground. And we think if we're nice to them, they're going in kind to be nice to us. And that's the naive, unawake people, Troy. So, that's a lot of people. But don't lose sight of what happens. So if these kids at Antifa, they want to get busy with the military, they close ranks. It's hard. It's quick to get those guys disciplined and moving forward. Antifa can't do it. Antifa can. Once we get serious as a platoon, as a company, as a division, when that happens, playtime's over. It's on. So and that's what you do, and that's what the military is good at. The one thing that we can do as a military is kill things and break people. That's why you don't want to go there. You want to play a little bit loosey-goosey at first. Let's keep an eye on this thing, get a feel for the thing. We don't want to scare our kids that are wearing the uniform. We want them to feel like we're all part of a country. But then when they get silly, the guys in uniform are going to go, the fuck, come on, let's go. Yeah. It's not going to stop anything though, Troy. I mean, we take notice, but the ball is rolling in every American. No, Nelson. It's the people kneeling are just trying to de-escalate. They don't believe in what they're kneeling. I'm not kneeling for anybody but God. I bend the knee for no one but God. And you have 80% of America that believes that. They're not bending, even if they're a Democrat and a leftist, they're not bending the knee. So it's these Antifa and football players that are doing this whole bend the knee thing. And it's the cops and military. Okay, we'll de-escalate. We'll meet you in the middle ground. Maybe we can get some of y'all off of this thing because we don't want to come in heavy. None of us want this. You don't want the work. Let's play it around a little bit because when the work comes, it's going to be work. And they don't want that work. But regular Americans, and polls show it, they want the work. They're tired of it, okay? Americans are not going to bend the knee, Chandler. Troy, Americans are not knee benders, brother. Man, I mean, they're nice tourists, but when it comes to bullshit, Americans, they get loud, they get rowdy, and we're armed. Yeah, that's exactly right, Troy. Antifa doesn't know that. The Army knows that. The Army knows once Antifa strikes, they're going to get the work. They're not going to get the hands. They're going to get the clubs and rubber bullets, tear gas. And the military, we move in order and discipline. We are taught to function in chaos. The worst thing you can have is a soldier that is bored in the motor pool because we start fights with each other. And our soldiers are trained in Iraq. Our soldiers are trained on the battlefield. All right, National Guard, they're not all there. Some of them are. A lot of them are. A lot of them are battle-hardened soldiers, guys. And some of them are kids. And so they have a couple of photo ops. But your military ain't like that. Your military is disciplined and ready and fighting for the flag. And they don't see Antifa being on their side at all. Email me the photo of the Royal Seal. I need to make sure this is coming from somebody that we know. It could be, we're doing, they got a photo op of a repair job being done. So we need someone to go by there today and take photos today. We don't need second, third-hand information. As a project, understand this, as a project. I mean, we can gossip amongst friends, about what we think, but we need eyes on the ground. And yeah. So we have people that live in Great Britain. Nemesis has 2 cousins in London. I'm sure if Andrew worked hard enough, he could find a friend or family member in London that could go by Buckingham Palace. We need confirmation. We don't need more information. Right now, we need confirmation. So really, anything that you send me right now that we don't have a confirmation of is suspect to me. Dawn, Epic doesn't know. Epic's in Kent. Epic is far away from London. And that's the frustrating thing for me. I have enough friends still in and around Washington, D.C. where I could get someone to go take pictures of the White House if necessary. But it's being broadcast all over the world. All right, guys, wrapping up the stream. Woohoo! No dropped frames. God bless America. Yeah, Navy doesn't play. I mean, it's the Air Force that are suspect. We don't look. When we have people that are not qualified to be in the military, but they want to be in the military, we send them to the Air Force, like my dad. You're nice guys. You're smart. You don't need to be in the front lines. We send grunts for there. I was in the Army. I'm grunt material. Bullet stopper, front lines. And that's where I want to be. If there's a war, I mean, if there's gunfire, I always run to the gunfire. If there's a fire, I always run to emergency. That's just always been my nature. And every guy that served in the military with me, that's their nature too. Did they like their NCOs? Half of the guys that I was in the military with hated Reagan. Hated Reagan. If Reagan said, "We're marching on America," the whole military said, "No." And my question would have been, "I love you, Reagan, but why am I marching on America?" Now, if I see something going down like Antifa, like if I would have been in the military, if I would be in the military right now, if I'd be in the U.S. Army, if I'd be in Fort Carson, Colorado, I'd be like, man, why aren't we suiting up? Why aren't we training for this? Ironically, yes, our entire military, our active military is trained and ready to kick the shit out of Antifa because they're hardened. They are hardened soldiers that have been to battle. National Guard is not there yet. A lot of them are, but a lot of them aren't. Yeah, Navy does not fuck around. God. And one of the things I hated was when a Navy ship would stop in New Orleans, because all it would be just bar fights. Here they come. Oh, God. One year, we had an Irish ship, not an Irish ship, a British ship, but there was a lot of Irishmen and Irish women. It was Ark Royal? I think Ark Royal came to New Orleans, and then we had a sister aircraft carrier. I forget what the circumstance. Anyways, we had an English ship, an American ship docked in New Orleans at the same time. What could possibly go wrong? Oh yeah, all night. There's just fights everywhere, and they were having a great time. Everybody enjoyed it. No one was complaining, frankly. Locals like, oh, these guys are great. But yeah, it was a night of chaos, and everybody had a great time. Yep, the Navy is the backbone and has been the backbone of the military. And that's what the Army says. Thanks to the ride. If it wasn't for you guys, we couldn't get here. Now we're going to go stop bullets. All right, guys, I got to go to work. Yay! No drop frames, no errors, good video streaming. Got everything up and going. We're on, guys. We are no longer amateurs. This is awesome. Think good thoughts. Do good deeds. And say good things. Your life's going to work out for you. We are a coddled, loved, and cared for species. surrounded by aliens and spaceships and all kind of shit that we can't even wrap our heads around. So take great comfort in that, you know? We're not an accident. We're sure the shit didn't evolve. You know, we were created, we're cared for, we have souls, we are connected to everything that is and that ever was and ever will be. You know, the Creator knows the end game for us. If we die, our soul releases. So do good, be good, don't be scared. Trust the Breadcrumbs Project in what we do. And let's be skeptical about all things that come our way, like Andrew is. Very skeptical. Too skeptical sometimes. All right, guys. Love y'all. Love and light and peace. Like I said, right there. No, right there. Yes, right there. Love and light. I'll get this all figured out one day. Man, I am so geeked about having all my gear working perfectly, and after being so bummed out yesterday, I just can't even express to you how happy I am. You cannot stop the signal, people. Well, you can stop the signal, but you can't stop the well, no, you can't stop the signal. I mean, as long as we have some internet going. Oh, that's why I had my monitor way over there. Ah, hi. So yeah, wanted to come back up and apologize for all the technical difficulties we've been having, and let you know that we are strong and live again, and no drop packets. Hi, Em. I got your emails. Thank you very much. Yep, that's something I want to talk about right now. The sun is very strange. Hello, Captain Realist. Hey, CJ. Yeah, this is a surprise live, and it's just us girls in here. Hello, Osama. Welcome to the Breadcrumbs Project. You lived in Scotland for 2 years? Oh, lad, you've seen things and you've heard things. Funny people, man. Hey, Spartan. Are you online? Hi, Nancy. Hi, Andrew. Hi, whoever buddy is online. Let me fix this camera a little bit. Now that I've got everything working, I can focus on a lot of details. Because when the big picture isn't working right, it's hard to focus on the details. All right. So today, while I was doing some work, and sometimes people get to talking and I get bored, so I'll either text you guys in the chat with you guys in the stream, or look at some stuff. And today, man, look at that. Look how good. Let me show you all this. So what I've done is I purchased a VPN, a virtual private network, and what it does is it uses my Ethernet that goes to my fiber, which has been giving me troubles, and I'm mad about that. And then it merges in with my secondary Ethernet, which I have running through my iPhone right now. And I am really, really geeked at the performance and the quality of signal, because you guys aren't getting any latency. So Speedify, they have not paid for this, but I am certainly going to get in contact with them and tell them that they are the bomb diggity. And then look at my CPU. Now that I've got good flow, man, I wish Joshua was here. So if you look on my other screen here, I'm looking at my my task manager and my processes. And before I got the Speedify working really well, man, the CPU was just jammed up. And now I'm, roughly in the 80s consistently. So I have 20% overhead, and I've dropped a gig in memory utilization. All of my Ethernets are wide open. So, yeah, couldn't be any happier. Could not be any happier. All right, so that's technically that. Then this is something I was looking at today. So these are some pictures that I took in 2019, February 2019, walking through my little small village. And this is sunrise. And the sun is pretty big and it's pretty bright. And that's kind of expected on sunrises. But it wasn't difficult to look at. It didn't cause, there's an old man walking right there, and there I am. I'm taking a big picture. Sun's bright, but you can still see the circle of the sun, and it's not crushing everything. And Here is a sunset in front of my place in February. I didn't notice, but there seems to be a sun behind the sun. So this is where some people have talked about a fake sun or something. I don't know what's up with that. I just thought it was lens flare. But this is February 2015. Is there something in front of the sun? Because that yellow disc is how I knew the sun. All right? There's a proper sunset. You have one atmosphere, you have one set of clouds, and some people see a chemtrail, and I see a jet exhaust. And we can disagree about that. But there was nothing painful about looking at that sunset. Nothing painful at all. It was rather enjoyable. Sat. Now you can't look at the sun. Now you cannot look at the sun. But these were pleasant sunsets. Everybody's enjoying it. It's yellow. It's not incandescent white like it is now. It's a warm yellow glow that we've all been used to. This was February of last year. Either we have a different sun entirely, or we're losing, or as we're talking about, we're losing our we're losing our magnetic shield, but our sun is far different today than it was last year. Thanks, Em. I live in a beautiful town. I live in an absolute beautiful town. Very, very blessed. And I'll turn on the camera so you guys can look at the sunset this evening. Mushia. There. And this is just from the iPhone. There's no filtering or no fanciness or anything like that done with the picture. But that's the average redness that you get from the sky. Now we have huge, gigantic clouds of redness, but that's just a normal sunset. Enjoyable. You can look at the sun, not blinding. Just a nice evening. It's not like that anymore. I mean, even when the sun goes down, there's a harsh whiteness that just permeates. That soft glow is not there anymore. CJ, no one's arguing with you. Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, it was nice. Now it's just iridescent white. Now it's like limelight. And that was the problem with limelight. That's why actors back then wore such heavy makeup, because the limelight was so white it just whitened everything, but it was bright so everybody in the back could see. So you had to wear extra color and extra makeup so that people can see you. But that's not the sun of today. Light clouds, clear, crystal clear. I haven't had a clear day like that. There's been a fog over the ocean 2 months now. Month that I've noticed, month and a half. Again, there's nothing, no, this is just a regular shot from the iPhone. It's beautiful. It was beautiful here. There's no filters, nothing. I think so. I think all the agitation, all the excitement, the chaos of the pandemic, the chaos of the race riots, everything that Brexit, all just people are exhausted, so they just can't notice something like the sun. Like if we didn't have news and we were back in, Iron Age, we'd notice something was going on. We'd be sacrificing the gods like crazy. Hey, Michelle. What happened? You're having a good morning when we talked to you a little while ago. Well, not really good because we were telling everybody the truth about South Africa, about Africa in general. There was a great awakening, Michelle, from the people in this group about Africa. You got friends in this group, Michelle? You've got friends in this group. So when I'm looking this way, I'm looking at the chat. When I'm looking at this way, I'm looking at my monitor. And when I'm looking dead ahead, that's the switch screen to take me to different screens. So, yeah, I got my game down, folks. Boom. Your General Breadcrumb has been working hard behind the scenes and all the time to bring you the best possible. Yes, Michelle. I sure do remember. That was so painful. Oh, Michelle, you know what? I had the exact same thing happen as a child. Hold on, guys. Got a package downstairs. Be right back. But yeah, same thing happened to me as a child. Mom, sister, and I started crying over a pet that just passed away. Hang tight, guys. Yes. Welcome to just the most different YouTube channel there is. We got a little bit of it all. And that was a little Friday chair dance for you. Cha, cha, cha. It's not lagging. It's not lagging at my end, people. We are screaming. We are screaming strong. Everything at my end. I just got a new cooling unit. I'm running very, very nice on my cooling. No loss. Here, I'll show you. No loss, no signal loss. Well, 0.2%. But almost no latency. I had some latency on one. See? These little purple lines. This is one Ethernet, which is my secondary Ethernet. Had big old signal drop there, so that would have been latency. But then my primary is just pumping. My fiber optics is not suffering whatsoever. My CPU is a little higher than I'd like, but hopefully that'll calm down. But my RAM is still good. So yes, very, very happy. Very happy indeed. All right. So let me see. I got another fan for the camera, and that's running cool. All right. Life is good. Don't want to say it's yours, Andrew, but man, all of my everything I got on my end is screaming fat and happy, and I'm not getting any drops from my system. Oh man, now I see. Look at my CPU; it's about to drop. So that's something on my printer that had the CPU running high. Printer, you are going off while I'm online. Look at that. Look at the difference. A printer process that I'm not even running my printer. It's just doing something in the background, and it had a process locked up in my CPU. And now, running nice and cool. Oh, Daddy is happy. Daddy is very, very happy. Guys, have faith in the breadcrumb. He may not get it right the first time, and he may not get it perfect the second time, but the third, fourth, and fifth time, he's going to be on target and stay there. I now know streaming. I now know video streaming and production and mixing and all kinds of stuff. So for as much time as we do have, the show's going to get better and better and better. And that's successful, hardworking people do that. And the really successful people take something that's really difficult that nobody even wants to bother with. Which one of y'all want to learn how to stream video? And then stick to a schedule. And have to get the gear to support it all. You know, it's not easy. So I'm in a way like Donald Trump. If something's difficult but I want to do it, I'm going to figure it out and get it done. And that's the kind of man Donald Trump is. Like I was telling everybody, man, when he figures out how to be president, y'all screwed. And I was telling, deep state, I wasn't telling deep state, I was talking to my friends on Facebook. And just where I was living in general, because I was living in Pensacola Beach, Florida, with friends of mine, neighbors who become dear friends, and I was the one telling them, no, Donald Trump is not a joke. No, he's not doing it for the money. No, he is not going to raise his profile and then cash out. No, he's in this for the whole enchilada, people. He's 70-something years old. He flies in one of the most beautiful jets in the world. Trump Force One is immaculate and luxurious inside. Luxurious. Way nicer than Air Force One. But the Air Force One has everything else that goes with it. It has the Air Force, supports it. But the luxury between the two is just... So no. And Donald Trump had a hard time figuring out how to campaign at first. and how to run a campaign and how to get media time and how he figured that stuff out in months. It wasn't anybody else but Donald Trump figured out how to run his campaign. And then when he got on target and was kicking every Republican's ass, oh, I knew it was real. I knew it was real. Let's see. Anybody else see lagging? I haven't been chatting. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, we have to be praying for the good stuff. We have to take our vibration and elevate it. That's what Partha talks about. That's what Angel talks about. That's what the Law of One talks about. There are definitely evil forces, just as there are wonderful forces at light at work. Yeah, if anybody sees lagging, please let me know, because I've been fighting that battle since I started streaming, and I think I got it licked. Yeah, as you can tell, I'm keeping my screen up, showing activity and lagging. And what you're seeing right now is what we call latency. So that's the speed that the information is going out and being responded to. So sending packets, receiving confirmation, sending packets, receiving confirmation. So the Ethernet, my primary Ethernet that I want to have all the traffic going down, the fiber optic, is 35 millisecond delay, latency, which is fantastic. And loss is minimal in the 0.1, 0.2% range. And that's just a couple of packets dropping, but the resend, the speed of the resend of the packets negates the loss that I'm experiencing here. Very, very cool. Yes. And then this is the speed. My fiber optic, believe it or not, the cell phone hotspot is faster than fiber optic, because this is going through air farther and longer and less hops than my fiber optics, because my fiber optics has to go from the city to a gathering point, to another gathering point, to another gathering point, until it can go into the broadband, the backbone of the world networks. And so the cellular actually gets a faster response time. But I have it as my backup, not my primary. So y'all getting a little lesson on this. I'm very excited. All right. So the sun is what we were talking about, and that's the normal sun, and that's not the sun you're going to see today. Pink moon, London, England tonight. Yeah, it's a pink moon or a white moon. There's no more like that golden yellowish moon that we just love. Kind of like our golden yellowish sun that we loved. Yeah, and Sin Rhoda, who is from India, but also practices the very ancient religion of Zoroastrianism, one of the two most ancient religions on the face of the planet that we still have alive today, one of three. Indus Valley, Tibetan Buddhism, and Zoroastrianism are the three oldest religions that we have of record on the planet, and they all three warn of full moons, especially this full moon, which is supposed to be a eclipse, a lunar eclipse, from what I understand. Hey, Dexter. Lunar eclipse tonight, so I won't be looking at the moon. I'll be staying well inside. So what we're looking at is the sun of February last year, Dexter and Sin. This is the sun of February last year. The sun of today looks nothing like this at all. And so this is one of the main tripwires that we have going. And then there was let's see if Drudge still has it. Yeah, the wild lightning storm from last night. And we've been seeing wild storms everywhere. So that's crazy. And we have a bunch of crazy stuff going on. So weather all over the world, many places have reported just crazy, insane weather. And now Washington, D.C. is another one. Yeah, yesterday. This is from yesterday. 13 hours ago. So the planet, as we keep on saying, is highly electrified. And Partha feels very strongly the planet is so electrified because of our magnetic shield has diminished so much. Well, Spartan, if you caused it, that could very well be, but understand that it's bound to happen because of the intensified electrical nature of our planet right now. This is why President Trump did that EMP protection. These discharges of electricity that you're seeing are gigantic electromagnetic pulses, very focused. So lightning can be considered an electromagnetic pulse, but it's an electrical discharge, and this could mess things up. So this is they know that this was coming, and this is part of that EMP protection. Well, this is certainly impressive, Spartan. I've never seen anything like that. Best lightning storms I've seen were out in the ocean, and they had one or two discharges, but not a series of those like that. That is a ridiculous amount of lightning. Ridiculous. So just one of the many signs that we are experiencing. You just can't see the sun like this right now. It's impossible. Impossible. So I leave you all with this thought. I am going to go take a nice little walk and clear my head for a little while. Yeah, if you need anything posted on the in the chat and you can't do it for whatever reason, just message or email, message Epic, message Andrew, either Twitter or Facebook, or you can email me at thebreadcrumbsproject.com. All right, guys, I am going for a walk, and I will be seeing you in an hour and a half. I'll be starting the stream at 6:30 Washington, D.C. time as opposed to 7. Just getting a little earlier for Angel, and it helps me out a little too. Yeah, Troy, Drudge is not the Drudge that it used to be. Not by a long shot. It's trash. It's CNN trash now. You know, the funny thing is they thought they were going to get it and influence conservatives and the people that watch Drudge. No. Everybody said, no, this isn't normal Drudge. What's going on? And you can see Twitter just full of, hey, what's happening to Drudge? What's happening to Drudge? Thank you, Sin. Yeah. You know he made bank, though, don't you, Troy? You know he's mad about what they've done with it, too. But he's also glad that that the rest of us can see through it. So, yeah, I know the traffic has nosedived. I hope they paid a pretty penny, and they're not getting the revenue they expected. All right, guys, thank you so much. Think good thoughts, do good deeds, and say good things. And I will see y'all in an hour and a half. Seriously, be good out there. Have a little bit of fun. Days are going to be getting intense as we go along. So, yep.